So how is it? I was gone for just a vacation, and COD breaks the fucking timeline. So Tank Division, it's good to be back from vacation, but holy fucking shit balls. Is there just an absolute clusterfuck to cover? That, of course, being the very final season of Call of Duty Vanguard. Yeah, that's right, we're finally at the end. There is no Season 6. We're instead getting just Season 5 as the last. Hoorah. So let's talk about it, shall we? So first, let's take a look at it from the Caldera side of things. Now, how do we describe this? Caldera gets its new point of interest. Now, what exactly does this mean? The worst fucking point of interest in any map is the highest one. That, of course, being Peak. Well, Peak is about to take a fucking nosedive because the heightened volcanic activity is going to cause an eruption, causing lava to run down the mountainside in all modes and shootouts all over the island. So that pretty much means that you being able to camp at Peak is not exactly going to be your greatest plan of defense. To top things all off, the Gulag is finally going to get changed from the piece of shit we've had for the past couple of seasons. So once again, you're going to get a new volcanic themed Gulag. Now, granted, does this mean it's going to be a good one? Well, let's just say it's a new face-off pit inspired by an old favorite, so be ready for it, but don't expect things to be perfect. Now, with the storm finally being cleared on Caldera, you're going to see the sunlight peeking through the volcano's billowing smoke, as well as Rebirth is going to be seeing some lighting changes. Now, this is going to feature a warm and luscious sunset, casting a vibrant hue over the map. Now, for some of you, you might be wondering, okay, with Warzone, we should be seeing some new shit that you get to run with. Well, congratulations. This is true. First off, the Doomsday Station. Now, what exactly does the Doomsday Station do? Trigger this device, and you'll all of a sudden have that enemy helicopters will arrive to surround the station. They will deploy enemy soldiers to attack your position. Remain close to the Doomsday Station and defend yourself for a chance to earn powerful items and a unique watch cosmetic for your operator. Only one Doomsday Station will appear per match, with multiple possible spawn points. So the pay required to activate this bad boy is 10,000, so prepare for all hell. Now for another one, you have the Supply Box UAV. Activating the new Supply Box UAV kill streak for assistance is going to help you track down more items. It will mark nearby unopened supply boxes on the player's TAC map for 15 seconds. Now, finding the Supply Box UAV, you can find this bad boy in supply boxes or just simply purchase one at the buy station. Now, the personal supply box. All you have to do is track down this extremely rare crate with the assistance of your Supply Box UAV to acquire your favorite loadout weapons in Warzone. Each squad member gets a huge XP bonus for getting their hands on this as well. Now, this is where I get a little bit pissed. Rage Serum. Now, how do I even begin to address this? So what Rage Serum is going to do is it's going to make you violently unstable. It means you will have increased melee damage, increased lunge distance, and enhanced stun power when fighting with melee weapons or fists. However, it is confirmed that while you are affected by this Rage Serum, your operator becomes louder and seems to recoil with more confusion while stunned or flashed. Meaning, while yes, you are able to dish out more damage, it means you also take it. Meaning if someone flashes you or stuns you, it affects you more. So think of it like taking drugs, which is pretty much exactly what it is. So let's talk about the new modes, shall we? The Last Call, or should I say Operation Last Call. So how this works is in this limited time mode, inspired by none other than Search and Destroy, you can choose to either defend Caldera by defusing bombs around the island, or, fuck it, I'm saying I go with this option myself, sabotage it to be detonated so that explosives destroy bomb sites. Witness 2 different outcomes depending on your performance and your intent to cause all kinds of chaos. Now, be ready because you have a new in-game event, that of course being Lava Rock. Now, you're going to want to keep your eyes open because the lava rocks are going to be crashing all across Caldera, and not a single person is going to be safe from the volcanic fumes. Your goal? You're going to want to stay out of the landing zone to survive in this public event. So, keep your eyes open to check the volcanometer for a visual representation of the current activity, also indicated by the increasingly smoky atmosphere throughout the match. Now, we do have a new seasonal event, Heroes vs. Villains. So, how exactly does this work? You'll be able to choose a side and lead them to victory. You're going to want to collect villain and/or hero tokens in all game modes by eliminating opponents and scavenging supply boxes. Then, enjoy a little discount for faction bundles at the buy station. Anytime you purchase a faction bundle, you'll get a discount on one other item across all the buy stations. The winning team's unique weapon blueprint will be given to everyone following the event. Players also have a chance to earn other exclusive rewards like the animated calling card 1v1, as well as hero or villain weapon charms, the conflict spike melee weapon blueprint, and the time duality watch, as well as some other key things. Now, we already know there's going to be some sort of mid-season event given that this is the last season of Vanguard, thank God. In which case, Caldera is going to continue to have yet another mode. And that of course being, it just going a full explosive, etc. But then you have Rebirth. Yeah, Rebirth! You thought that was done. That Rebirth of the Dead was the last thing you would see. No. Get ready for Resurgence Supreme. So how exactly does this work? This is where squads of 4 are going to drop in with the best weapons. And, having it that the respawning is enabled, earn the best prizes for winning the match with over 15 eliminations. You're going to want to keep an eye out as this is going to be a mid-season thing, and that of course covers the Warzone side of it. Now usually I would end the video right here and cover the Vanguard side of things in the next video, but I've been on vacation, so fuck it, we're going to keep going. So let's talk about Vanguard. So Vanguard, right at launch, we get a brand new map that just happens to be a wonderful, wonderful place that people celebrate New Year's Eve, but instead, you'll be murdering people. Welcome to Beheaded. You're going to travel across a war-torn Times Square in a post-apocalyptic small map built for fast action. Now, you're going to battle under the neon lights outside of the Big Apple's establishments, or you can take up position in Lady Liberty's fallen head. Now, good luck, because you're going to have to race through this whole crazy area or flank through the subway station, which don't eat gum off the floor, and see if you can flank your enemies. Now this next map is going to be coming somewhere probably closer to the mid-season, that of course being Fortress, in which case it's a Mediterranean map that's medium-sized, which features some nice little close quarters interiors with rooftop access to grant you nice little power positions. You're going to be fighting in a maritime graveyard where ship remains litter the entire landscape. So be ready, because this whole thing incorporates an old ship into its own design, creating a nice little landscape to be exploited by those smart enough to use it. Now, for those of you who have been trudging themselves through zombies, I am so sorry. I feel so bad for you. But we have it that we finally have the last map being the Archon. Yeah, the final battle, we're going all the way back to Egypt. In which case, you finally get to face off against Cortifex the Deathless within the Dark Ether itself. So, be ready because yes, you're going to be using perk fountains, the Altar of the Covenants, Tomb of Rituals, and the Pack-a-Punch machine to pretty much fight one last boss fight, and I dare to say it looks like something out of that Ghostbusters video game from a couple years back. Now, something worth smiling about, or at least questioning it because I still don't get the whole timeline being fractured thing, is the 5 new weapons. Now, pulled straight out of Call of Duty Advanced Warfare, or Infinite Warfare, depending on which game you played, the EX-1. Yeah, an energy rifle. Might as well be playing Star Wars at this point. This bad boy leaves behind traditional ballistics in favor, of course, of a battery system used to power its attacks. Now, this bad boy is going to be effective at long range. The weapon requires, of course, a cooling off period after depleting its charge capacity. So, the good thing is, you don't have to worry about running out of ammo. But if you get caught during that reloading process, good fucking luck. Now, you will be able to equip a heat muzzle for, extra charge capacity, or insert a new battery, and you can transform this thing into anything from a burst rifle or a charge sniper rifle. So, this thing, let's just say it's going to be a versatile little shit. Now, speaking of versatile, we all love our little SMGs, and for this one, we have the RA-225. Yeah, that's right, high rate of fire, and incredibly mobile and compact. It kind of reminds me of the Kaparis, but it's not exactly the same. So let's just say this thing is perfect for shredding people at pretty much point-blank range, but be ready because this thing has a hell of an upward kick. So you're just going to have to get used to it. Now, this thing is highly customizable in the gunsmith, with options to push into the power, the handling, or the accuracy, or you can find a perfect balance. But you're going to want to keep an eye on this thing because of the high rate of fire. You're going to run out of ammo fast, so you might want that larger mag. Now, somewhere in the launch window, we have the Veloz revolver. I guarantee you I fucked up the pronunciation. This is a combination knife and revolver that acts as both a lethal melee weapon and a pistol. Now, what exactly does this mean? This means you're going to be capable of hitting one-hit melee eliminations while playing in multiplayer, while also holding 6 rounds in the chamber to shoot people. Now, I'm not sure if you're going to be able to dual wield this, and I'm also not sure if they're going to, introduce, let's say, slug rounds or other various rounds, but at least the challenge isn't too crazy. So, the first challenge, of course, being in multiplayer, getting 15 melee kills. Now, they do give you a hint to take your melee weapon of choice into beheaded and just close the gap. I just recommend going on shipment and just killing people. Now, the other one is zombies, and I dare to say I don't see a lot of people trying this one. Get 1,000 eliminations using pistols that have been pack-a-punched. Now, if you're smart enough, you don't even have to put this on round base. You could literally go into any of the maps, go on to the harvest mode, and have it that you already have a pack-a-punch pistol and just chug away at it. Now, be ready, because there are going to be 2 other weapons that we'll be seeing in the mid-season update. That, of course, being the BP-50 and the Liana 57 assault rifles, making a grand total of 5 new weapons. Now, while we're continuing on this, let's talk about the operators. A name I haven't heard since 2012-2013. Why? Because I didn't unlock him in Black Ops 4. Raul fucking Menendez. Born in Nicaragua, where pretty much his childhood was pretty much him helping his dad run the drug cartel, only to have the US-backed groups end up assassinating his father at the height of their power, leaving Raul Menendez in charge of the entire thing. But that's not what drove him to take up arms against the US and everyone else. Yes, sure, he continued to run the drug cartel, but it wasn't until the death of his sister Josefina that pretty much led him to becoming the man, the myth, and the legend behind Cortes Die. Let's face it, he's the most terrifying because you can sympathize with him. When Josefina died, even the most brutal Call of Duty players sat there and went, "What's the fuck's wrong with you? Why would you throw a grenade in there?" The question still remains why he's here, but we'll continue on. Now, this is where things get interesting because I begin to question if this is Modern Warfare 2019 or if I'm correct and this is the original original. Al-Assad. Yes, that's right. The man who grew up in Urzikstan amid all kinds of hell has been pulled back from the dead. Now, let's face it. This poor bastard was imprisoned but somehow escaped in order to lead all of Al-Qatala. Now, let's face it. His leadership is what led to the invasion of Verdansk, which leads me to the question again. This feels like a combination of the Al-Assads. Now, what makes him really terrifying is that in this article they mention that Al-Assad is the second of the four horsemen and is only outranked by one other person, and I question where this man is. Vladimir Makarov. Now, here's something you don't see every day. Call of Duty Ghosts hasn't been relevant in years. Why? Because it was considered one of the worst Call of Duties of all time, had the highest time to kill, and while it had one of the greatest campaigns and a very memorable villain, that was it. We never saw how it continued. We pretty much were just told, yeah, no, everyone hated the game, there's no sequel, good luck. To see Rorke after all these years, for those of you who don't know who Rorke is, let's give you an idea. This man graduated from the U.S. Naval Academy and became captain in the Marines. Now, what led him down his path of darkness is that during an assassination mission in Venezuela, he pretty much braved a flooding city to locate and kill the leader of the Federation. Pretty much the Federation being a bunch of South American countries joined together to go up against the U.S. What ends up happening is that him as well as the other ghosts are left in a bad scenario, and the ghosts are forced to leave Rorke. They believe him dead, but he ends up being found by the Federation, who ends up brainwashing him, stripping him of his loyalties and turning him to a man with an undying vendetta against the ghosts. Now, Rorke is one of the few villains to actually succeed, as, spoiler alert in case you haven't played the game, at the end of Ghosts, he actually manages to drag off your character, never to be seen again, and we never see what happens. Now, as for this next operator, this is where things get less than memorable. Now, what can I say about Zenzi? Well, first off, she hasn't even been born yet in real time, seeing as how her birth date is, I don't know, somewhere in the 2027. But she grew up in the Singapore quarantine zone as the daughter of a high-ranking officer in the 54 Immortals. Now, let's just say that's the equivalent of the cartels, but Asian. So think Yakuza, I suppose? But she ended up honoring her father, rose through the ranks of the Syndicate, and became the youngest ever enforcer. She pretty much became one of the faces of the 54 Immortals and became the living embodiment of it. Let's just say her skills, as well as everything that she pulled off, made her a formidable opponent in Call of Duty Black Ops 3. It's just a damn shame that no one gave a flying fuck about that campaign, because it was an absolute dumpster fire from the start. Now, we do know that, of course, we're going to be seeing an Umbrella Academy crossover between the leaks and, of course, the images that have been seen all across the board. We know that that's going to be one of the last collabs that we see before Warzone 2 and Modern Warfare 2 kind of take over. So I want to see in that comment section down below, what are your thoughts on, well, Warzone and Vanguard, where it's at right now? Do you think that this is a little bit COD Mobile-ish for Warzone, or do you think that this is a step in the right direction and something they should have done a long time ago? So, I look forward to reading that comment section down below. I'm sorry that this video is so long, but I've had a week's worth of content that I wasn't able to cover while in Disney World, and I figured I'd drop it all in one beautiful little video. So if you enjoyed watching this video, and hell, if you watch this to the end, I applaud you. Don't forget to click that subscribe button, drop a comment down below, leave a like. Don't forget to follow us on our socials, and you guys have a wonderful day, night, whatever you're doing, do it wholeheartedly. And of course, as always, this is Dank Dan, signing off.
Get them to click that subscribe button, Dick. It's the only way we can figure out the numbers. What do the numbers mean, Dick? We're wasting valuable time.